Hey y'all, welcome back to Chanel's Pocketbook. If you're new here, I'm Chanel, 32-year-old accounting student and zero-based cash budgeter, sharing real-life money moves, one paycheck at a time. I'm so glad you're here. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe if cozy budgeting and realistic financial planning are your thing. We keep it honest, raw, and southern over here. All right, you guys. So today is not going to be the traditional monthly reset as you saw in July. Unfortunately, I failed to order my All Things Planned washi sticker tape on time. So today we will be doing an August rough draft in our composition book, because when I tried to record this video last week, I just felt thrown off my A game unless I had the washi sticker tape from All Things Planned. It just didn't feel right to go in on a naked canvas and write everything in without it. And so what I am going to do, as mentioned earlier, we're going to do the rough draft in the composition book here. And then later, once we get our All Things Planned washi sticker tape, I'm going to transfer the data over onto my actual budget planner, right? So that's the plan I want to use. And once I officially get the All Things Planned washi sticker tape, I'll be sure to show you guys how I actually set it up to where it makes sense, so you guys can get the full picture. All right, so as usual, I'm going to go ahead and start off with my income. We're going to only fill in the expected section. Okay, so at the end of August, we're going to go ahead and close this budget and we'll then fill out the actual category. So as usual, I will only be accounting for my job income for the expected column. And that is because side hustle income, bonuses, donations, delivery, etc. is not guaranteed. What always is going to be guaranteed is this particular income, because I've already worked these hours, right? I expect this income to come. And so that is what we're going to claim. Now, to determine what my expected income is, I just use the average dollar value that I have earned over the past 3 to 4 months or so. That way, I at least know the minimum I'm going to get. If I actually receive more than that, amazing. I'll budget for that once I actually receive my paycheck. But today, we're only going to be budgeting what we expect to get, right? And so that for me is $2,286 even. Again, we're not going to put anything under expected for side hustle because that is not always guaranteed. So the subtotal of expected income will remain $2,286. Next, we're going to go ahead and move on to expenses. And as I mentioned in the intro, I am a zero-based cash budgeter. Every dollar needs a home. Every single dollar that I earn here will need to be allocated between my fixed, variable expenses or my sinking funds. So we're going to start off with fixed. I feel like fixed and variable expenses are always priority over sinking funds and savings challenges. So for my fixed expenses, we are doing rent, which will get its usual $800 even. For my phone bill, if it is going to remain the same as July, then I expect to pay $135. It would be awesome if I could save some money, and if not, it is what it is. Car insurance will get its usual $118. And then my Apple subscriptions will get its usual $12. $6 for a student Apple Music subscription, and then I pay about $3 before taxes for extra storage. Now, we're going to go ahead and add up the total of the fixed expenses here. Fixed simply means these numbers do not fluctuate. These numbers should be the same every month unless there's a reason for an increase, as we have with my phone bill. It went from being $90 a month to now being $135. I'm hoping that moving forward this is reduced. But as for now, I do expect this fixed phone bill to be $135, and all of my fixed expenses equals out to $1,065. Now, what is a variable expense? A variable expense is simply an expense that either goes up and down in the total. It fluctuates. It's often never the same every single month, and so that's what makes it a variable versus fixed. And so my brother Charles will get $190 this month. Gas is getting $65 this month because I do intend to go to Port Arthur. And then household is getting $40. Right now, we're doing fairly decent on things like toilet paper, paper towels, cleaning supplies, paper plates, etc. But I do believe starting next month, I will need to go ahead and make some purchases to replenish our stockpile. We don't want to run out, and that's what's super important for us. With my self-care budget, that's like if I want to get a massage, a mani-pedi, anything along those lines. I'm going to go ahead and put aside $40 for this month. If I spend it, okay, not, it'll get rolled over to a sinking fund or a savings challenge. Groceries is going to get its usual $200. Shopping is getting $103 this month. $25 of that is for like jewelry or a cute top. Then the remainder is to purchase my cash stuffing supplies. Now, let's see, $78 for 2 months of a full monthly kit from All Things Planned can be expensive. That does come out to be about $37, $39 per month. And I just feel like I can make those myself. And so eventually I do intend on investing this amount into purchasing my own washi sticker tape and the proper tools to cut out the tape, so that way I can lay out my own versions of the monthly setup, right? I have some really cool designs in mind, and so I look forward to investing in that in the future. But for now, I am happy to support another Black-owned business, All Things Planned. She not only has the washi sticker tape for Erin Condren, she also has layouts for the Happy Planner. She has different dashboards. She makes envelopes, labels. She sells the cash stuffing binders. Whatever you need, it's almost like she's a one-stop shop. So it's a pleasure to support her business. Moving on, my personal budget for things like bathing soap, facial supplies like skincare, feminine products. This is also getting $40 this month. I definitely need to re-up on my skincare. I'm excited to do a little shopping this month. Medical debt is getting $50 this month. And then my credit card is getting $100 this month. Okay. Together, that is going to bring us to a grand total of $838. Now, as you can see, there are no cents left over on any of my subtotals, and that is because for income, let's say my income was $2,286.65. Well, normally one would round that up to where this 6 reflects a 7, but for me, I prefer to round down with the cents, so that way I can always ensure to have just enough money set aside for each of these expenses. Now with my expenses, let's say my credit card bill was $99.25. Well, all I'm going to do is round it up to being $100. So that way I always have enough set aside for any increases, any unexpected change, or whatever may have you. I don't round down with expenses. I only round up, and I do not round up with income. I only round down. So the subtotal for my expenses will be $1,903 even. So once we take $1,903 and subtract that from $2,286, that leaves us with a little money for sinking fund. That leaves us with $383 for sinking funds. So I know for a fact the sinking funds that I need to allocate money to this month will be my mom, my passport, the Airbnb for Colombia, my niece Nalani, and then my class reunion. So a sinking fund is simply something you want to put money aside for, that you're not necessarily ready to spend now, but you're saving towards hitting that goal. You're saving for the ultimate dollar value that you will need to make the purchase. For instance, my passport is going to be a little under $180. So I want to save exactly $180. Well, if I do that over the next, let's say 3 to 4 paychecks, I can make that purchase. But for now, I'm going to slowly but surely sink these funds so that way it builds up to that grand total that I need, right? So this month, my mom is getting $75 because she shared with me that she prefers to do something local and put Arthur. And then in October, we're going to take a weekend trip to New Orleans because if you know, you know, like you can go to New Orleans and have the time of your life. Just enjoying the culture, connecting with family and friends, eating good, delicious food, dancing in the music, soaking up the energy, you know, and I love New Orleans. New Orleans is always a vibe. So that $750 I was going to put up in the month of August can now be spread out over the next few paychecks just because we're now delaying her ultimate birthday celebration. But when I go to Port Arthur later this month, it would be nice to give her a birthday card, some beautiful potted flowers, her favorite candies, maybe even a cute little gift bag filled with lots of stuff from Bath and Body Works, right? So I'm looking forward to seeing her later this month. For my passport, I only need to put up $66 this month. The Airbnb is getting $100 this month, and then next month I'm going to go all in. I need exact $495 by the 17th of September. If I'm lucky, side hustle money will help me get to that $495 much sooner, or maybe even a bonus from my job. My niece Nalani, I am doing $75 to help out with school, clothes, and or shoes. She does wear uniforms, so it does make it really easier to get her and other kids ready for school. My class reunion, we are fundraising. We have an upcoming raffle, and so to ensure that the items that people will be raffling for are ideal, I am going to go ahead and donate $67 towards that. So my sinking funds should equate to that $383 that we had left over. I'm just going to go ahead and do a quick math check to be sure. Okay. Yes, the subtotal does equate to $383 even. So essentially, all of our dollars are allocated to a fixed expense, variable expense, or sinking fund. There is not a single dollar left over to where I need to wonder, am I going to spend it somewhere where it does not need to be spent? I know exactly where everything is going, and I can just continue through the month of August very, very confidently, knowing that everything is allocated where it needs to be prioritized, right? Now, if I do bring in extra money, that will simply allow me to, let's say, put some of it on a medical debt or my credit card. Or I could sink some of the funds towards my mom's October trip, or allocate it towards the Airbnb or even my passport. So it's really like ample amount of places where extra money can go. And as I bring in that extra money, I'll be sure to show you guys how I'm allocating that. That typically will be on my paycheck videos, whether it's paycheck 1 or paycheck 2, but I always implement or allocate the extra money that I've earned in my paycheck videos. So some things you can look forward to over this week will be the closing of July, as well as the closing of the second paycheck of July. Now, many of you may be wondering, why am I kicking off August with budgets that have not been closed? Well, for me, I try not to overanalyze or overthink it, but in the accounting world, true enough, that would have been closed by the last day of the month. However, I am building my budget not just off of the month, not just off of the quarter, but my paycheck cycles. And so the cycle of my paycheck 2 technically does not end until August the 5th. I just wanted to be sure that if I'm closing things out, if I do spend any money, I can account for it in that proper period. That way, my final closing numbers reflects what was actually spent during that period, right? So I was a little bit conflicted with closing the month of July, knowing that paycheck 2 of July would still be open. So moving forward, that is just how I'm going to close my paychecks and my months. I will not close the month budget until the paychecks have all been closed. Don't forget that once I do officially get the All Things Planned washi sticker tape, I will be using that to put into my Erin Condren planner and transferring all of this data over for the month of August. Hope to see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Any questions that you have, drop it in the comments. I'm always responsive. See you in the next video. Bye.